The David Lee Show is supported by the Community Foundation for Greater New Haven, working toward a community of expanding opportunities in which all people share a sense of common destiny and have the support and connections needed to build successful lives. And by its New Haven Healthy Start program, creating healthy mothers, happy babies, and hopeful futures. For more information, you can reach out to the program director, Natasha Ray at nray@cfgnh.org, or you can call Natasha at 203-777-7087.
Fixing fatherhood. Nobody said it's gonna be light work. But once you recognize what they life's worth, you gon' rise up. That's what you signed up. Be a strong dad and provide love. Fatherhood. Nobody said it's gonna be light work. But once you recognize what they life's worth, you gon' rise up. That's what you signed up.
Hey, welcome to the David Lee Show. This is your host, Dr. David Lee Asbery. Listen, if this is the first time you're listening to the David Lee Show, I want to thank you so much for stopping by. David Lee Show is sponsored by Fixing Fathers Incorporated, where fathers help fathers to be better fathers, Men's Resource, and McKay's Custom Clean. That's customized cleaning for your individual needs. Now, listen, guys, you heard the plug in the beginning. Healthy Start has partnered with Fixing Fathers, and I am so happy. I want to thank Natasha Ray for bringing this partnership together and helping us to get the message out to our dads out there. So it's Fatherhood Friday. It's Fridays with Fathers. So today, from the Yale School of Medicine, we have Jose DeJesus, and we are going to be talking to him about men's health. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome to the show Jose DeJesus. How's it going, Jose? How's it going?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. So, you know what? Why don't we just start off by you introducing yourself and tell us what is what's your connection with Healthy Start? Because I'm excited.
Sure. My name is Jose DeJesus, and I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator for the National Clinician Scholars Program here at the Yale School of Medicine.
Okay.
And I just recently moved over from the Yale School of Public Health, where I was the community health educator. And that's how the relationship began with Healthy Starts. I would bring information to their fathers group there regarding prostate cancer screenings and men's health issues in general. Exactly. So that's how that relationship began with Ray. And I was presenting to her group, and she called and said, hey, you have this program and you're talking about men's health. Would I be able to participate? And I said, of course, yes.
Yes, let's get that word out. Let's get that word out to dads and make sure dads understand how important it is. How important it is. So why is men's health so important, and so important that we dedicated a whole month to it?
Yeah, people ask me that all the time. And I'm wearing blue because Men's Health Month is wear blue. So you wear blue, and people ask me, why you wear blue all month? And then it's an opportunity for me to talk to them about men's health.
Yes.
But it's because of Father's Day. Father's Day is in June, so we want to bring that awareness to the men in our family. Statistically, here in the United States, men live 5 years less than women. And the leading causes of that is cancer.
Right.
It's cancer, heart disease, and folks unintended injuries. Motorcycle accidents, car accidents,
right.
But those unintended accidents we really can't safeguard too much around. But the other two we can. We can do something about our health, about our heart disease health, about our heart health. We can also be vigilant about our cancer screenings. The number one leading cause of cancer in men is prostate cancer.
Right.
And I talk to most men when they're 40 and over, and I said, hey, come here, I need to talk to you. Have you had prostate cancer? Yeah. And they're looking at me like, who is this guy?
Right.
That conviction. Prostate cancer, if detected early, and that's the whole thing about cancer in general. If it's detected early, you have a lot more tools. You and your doctor have a lot more tools in your toolbox to be able to treat that cancer. When it's found at the later stages, a lot of those options are diminished because it's at a later stage.
Right.
So our best protection against cancer is early detection.
Early detection, right.
We have to have a partnership with our primary care providers, with our doctors. And, a lot of us black and brown men, machismo, we're tough, you need a doctor. I tell everybody, listen, I'm 21, and my birthday's in October. Every October, I go get a physical, and I get from the top of the head to the bottom of the feet, everything in between checked out. And you just have to do that. We got that a lot. My mother's a nurse, and I got two sisters that are nurses. So
right.
I had no choice. You know, I was
a
doctor.
You had to go. You had to go.
By having family that's very much into healthcare. So I want to bring that message out to our Black and brown folks. We need to not be scared of your doctors, and you need to have that conversation because it's a partnership. You really want to have a dialogue. You know what's happening to your body better than anyone else. So you need to have that conversation with our medical providers to let them know what's going on with you, and for them to also have the input of what's appropriate, what cancer screenings are going to be appropriate for you and at what time. Yeah. I tell everyone, it's a general rule, if you're 40 and over, man or women, you should be getting checked.
Yeah.
Last year, it used to be that for men and women that are at average risk of colorectal cancers begin to get screening at 50. Well, now that changed last year. Now it's come down to 45. And in some cases, if you have cancers in your family, your doctor might want you to start before 45, at 35, at 40. So having those conversations, having that family history, and if you don't, for some of us that are adopted, that we don't know our family history, then you should be having that conversation with your doc and maybe start those screenings at an earlier age, just as a precautionary measure.
Well, I'll tell you, I wish that I had someone as excited about this as, because that's the piece right there also. Letting men know, especially men, like you said, I really relate to that. I don't need to do, letting men know that there is nothing wrong with it. There's absolutely everything right with it, to be honest with you.
And I'll tell you, if we have time, I'll tell you a little personal story.
Sure.
I buried my dad 2.5 years ago at the ripe old age of 98. My dad passed away in sleep. His heart and his lungs decided to stop. He passed in sleep. He had a very restful way of him leaving this earth.
Yeah.
As his 3 younger brothers, we buried before they were age 65 due to prostate cancer.
Wow.
So these are those tough guys that never went to the doctor, I've never seen my uncles have a cold, never mind sneeze in front of me. These are all early, big, tough guys. And we put them in the ground, all 3 of them before the age of 65. Because by the time the symptoms of prostate cancer showed up in them, it was already stage 4+, and it had spread. And literally, the doctors, all 3 of them, gave my aunts the exact same story. He should take care of whatever he has to take care of because he got about 6 months to live. And none of them made it to 6 months. They all died in that 4th or 5th month.
Wow.
So the importance of getting screened and getting screened for prostate cancer, it's so simple. It's a blood test and then a digital rectal exam. You're uncomfortable for 10 seconds can save your life.
Right. Right.
I tell people, and my dad had prostate cancer. But he did not die of prostate cancer. He lived to 98, and his heart and lungs just stopped because he was the ripe old age,
He got it.
As his cancer was detected early and it was treated. Most men don't even know if you live long enough that you're going to have a 90% chance of getting prostate cancer. Mm-hmm. I don't think when the engineers built the human body, they didn't think that men were going to live that long. So the prostate cancer is very prevalent on men 80 and over. Is extremely prevalent. It's very common because I just think that organ was built to last that long. That's just my own position. I'm sure there's a ton of scientists that will probably disagree with me. But most men, you're going to have prostate cancer. So the only way to really manage that is by early detection. And if it's detected early, there's a ton of treatments now that can use that will make you live a ripe old age. Like, for example, my father, where in prostate cancer in my family runs rapid. So because of that, I've been getting tested for prostate cancer. I was 35.
Yeah. Not playing with it.
45. My doc said, no, we're not playing this game because it's a very aggressive. The men in my family suffer from prostate cancer. My dad and my 3 uncles. And, my older brother just got diagnosed last year, and he's 69. So
So that family. So it sounds like that family history is also important, which men need to sort of,
If you have, they call them first degree relatives. If you have a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, a son or daughter, those are all your first degree relatives. And if there's cancer in that lineage, yes, there's also other tools that you can be talking to your provider about genetic testing. I know the BRCA gene in women that have breast cancer, they've been able to find that in folks and have a more vigilant screening schedule because of that genetic makeup. So there are genetic tests that can check for different cancer. You should be having that conversation. Is it appropriate for you, due to my family history or my lack of family history?
Right.
So that might be another step that you can take to safeguard yourself.
So are you optimistic about the folks that you talk about, especially the men that you talk to in the Black and brown community, about actually, after you talk to them, you feel as though they're going to do something? I mean, do you feel like we're making headway? Because I do know personally, that test is a very makes men very squeamish, and getting over that hump. There's nothing like seeing someone die to get over that hump, but we don't want that to have to be the reason.
Exactly. And I tell everybody, it's 5 to 10 seconds of being uncomfortable that can save your life. I don't like going to the dentist either, but I sit there in that chair for a half hour while they clean my teeth. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like that. But you got to do these things. And I think when you see what prostate cancer can do to a man when it's undetected and untreated in his late 50s and early 60s, when you see that devastation, I don't want anybody else to see that. I saw it in my uncles that were big, strong. They're steel workers. They're all lived in Ohio. They're all from Lorain, Ohio. Big steel workers, guys work 12 hours, 6 days a week for their whole entire lives. To see them shrivel up, and at that point, the chemo, the radiation, just to see the damage done to these big, strong, burly guys, just would have got checked. If you just would have gotten a blood test, you wouldn't have been here. And like I said, my dad is proof to that. He had prostate cancer. It was managed. That did not kill him. He lived with it. He lived long, healthy. So I think that's the message that I want to send out to folks, is that screening is our only tool right now. I hope with the advances of science that one day cancer will be eliminated on Earth. That is my hope. I am an optimist. I'm a guy, the glass half full kind of guy. That's me. And I'm going to get a half, so that's also me. But anyway, I think the only tool that we can really have to stand a chance against cancer is screening for those cancers that can be screened for. Unfortunately, there's not a screening test for all cancers, but the most prevalent ones, the ones that affect men, the ones that affect women, there are tests for that. And I strongly suggest that, number one, if you're 40 and over, you need to be having serious conversations.
Right. Well, I'm sitting here now and I'm thinking, you got me thinking, I'm saying to myself, when was my last colonoscopy? When was I had one, I think 2 years ago. And like I said, it's one of those tests that men just don't want to, I don't know.
It's uncomfortable. It's horrible. You feel it. I took yes. And I'm going to say yes. It's not great. It will save your life.
Right.
So you're going to be comfortable for a little bit and be alive. I'm going to be alive.
Yes, yes. You're going to pick life. So that's what we want. And that's what we want out.
And the screening tests have evolved. For example, you said colonoscopy. Well, now if you're at average risk of colon cancer, you can do a FIT kit, a home stool-based kit. And the accuracy is just parallel to a colonoscopy.
Wow.
So, the tests are getting better, the science is getting better. Now they have the stool tests now that detect the DNA of cancer cells. So it's
evolving.
So we all don't have to go get a colonoscopy, every 5 years, every 10 years. You can do a stool test once a year. So there are right now for mammography for breast cancer detection screening. Now we have 3D, which sees better in the tissue of the mammal of the breast that can detect even small, minute cells. So the technology is constantly evolving.
This is great. And now I fully see why the connection between you and Healthy Start is a marriage made in heaven, because it's so important for, to get the information, especially from the,
And I totally understand the hesitation. Like, for example, I got first cousins that are now my age. I'm in my 50s. I have cousins that are in their 40s and 50s that their father died of prostate cancer that are still reluctant to go get screened.
Right.
So, we always have this conversation, and I love Easter, Christmas, when we get around the family. As the door, and everybody, oh, here comes Jose. Yes, did you get screened? Yes, did you get screened? So, see, even my family, even with what we've seen, is still there. I'm chipping away at those guys. I'm still working with those guys. I'm going to say the vast majority have been screened just to shut me up, and that's okay. I'm good with that. Whatever it takes. So I think just that awareness that that is the only tool that we have to give our own selves, our own families, a fighting chance, because it's not you being comfortable. It's like my uncles; they died so young. They didn't see their grandkids. They didn't see, their kids get married, graduating from college, because they weren't here.
Exactly.
So it's like I said, my dad was the third youngest, and he outlived everybody to 98.
That's
and
crazy.
With the same medical condition, but it was detected early and it was treatable, and he lived a long life. So I think that's the gift that I want to give every man that I meet is, listen, you're 40 and over, you have to get.
Well, they got the right guy doing it, because I can see the passion and the energy, and I know you have to have the passion and energy, and it's real. You know what I mean?
For me, that's my life's mission. The only way that I can combat cancer is trying to get all of us screened.
Right.
Until we find a cure.
Right.
That's the best solution.
Yeah. All right. So this is the last question, and this is a juicy one. This is a juicy one. If you were to leave our listeners with 3 takeaway messages, what would it be? And I think I kind of know what it's going to be, but you go ahead.
Number 1, get screened. Right off the bat. If it's appropriate, if you're having that conversation with your doc, get screened for cancer. Number 2, heart health. Check your blood pressure. And that goes along with number 3. We need to be kinder to ourselves. We need to eat more fruits, more vegetables. We need to cut down on alcohol and tobacco. Those common things. If you're going to ride a motorcycle, put on your helmet. Those common sense things. But I think the top 3 is get screened for cancer, make sure your heart health is okay, and be as careful as you possible with those unintended injuries. Right.
Well, listen, man. Like I said, to do what you do, you definitely need the excitement. You need the energy, because they need to see it in you. They need to say, hey, man, you know what? When I left this guy, when I left Jose, God is still here. I need to go call my doctor. So to our dads that are listening, we hope that you...
If you need help with insurance, if you need help finding a private care, please, Yale New Haven Hospital is a huge resource. They have some stuff here. And if you don't live in New Haven, there is, in whatever state you live in, there's opportunity for each of us to get health care, and for each of us to talk to a medical provider.
Okay, so so for the individuals in New Haven and Connecticut that are listening, we can reach out to Yale Hospital, and I'll definitely also put your information down for those who want to talk and get educated on what they need to do in the future. I know that I'm calling up Dr. Weber, that's my doctor, and I'm going to take care of business because, I'm due for a checkup this year, and I need to, like you said, I want to live. We all want to get to 90.
I never forget, like I put in all of this stuff in my birthday month, and I get a physical every year. That's that's what we do. Every 6 months I go to the dentist. Every year I go to my primary. So I think if we get into those routines, it's a lot easier to continue. But wherever you're at, start today. Go talk to your provider today, and just tell me, oh, these cancer screenings, they're going to cost me more money. Now, all insurance covers all cancer screenings with zero out of pocket from the patient. So that was changed with the Affordable Care Act under President Obama. So that's not an excuse. And some folks say, well, if I go get a colonoscopy, I'm going to have a $2,000 bill.
Right.
It's covered.
So take that money element out of it. There's really no excuse, We as men, we change the oil, we do the lawn, we fix the stuff around the house, get checked out. Put that on the list. Just that simple, right?
And then the best way that I found, I got 4 older sisters. The best way that I found is to talk to the partners. Because if anybody will get the men down there, will be their partners.
Right.
So,
right.
So, it's like, Jose, why do you talk to women's group about prostate? Because a lot of them have partners, brothers, uncles, dads, and you tell most women will go get their mammograms. That's a 55% of screening. Whereas men, we need some help. So I tell everyone about cancer screening. I tell everyone about prostate screening, breast cancer screening. Doesn't matter who you are, you got to go get screened.
So you got all the little ways to get in there, right?
But so my cousin, I'm not talking to them anymore. I'm talking to their girlfriends or their wives.
There you go.
So
there you go.
Like your father will die. You want to leave your kids without a father? You better get your husband checked out. So that pressure. Not bearing, but I hope it's enough pressure that they do just to shut me up.
Well, you know what? They're still inviting you to the dinners and all that, right? So you're good. You're good. I think you're good. All right. Well, hey, listen, man. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking to you. I've gotten educated. I am motivated. I hope that the dads out there get just as motivated. And really, we laughed a little bit about it, but it is really serious because we want our dads to be around. We want them to be present. I think about my dad. He didn't die from cancer, but I just think about how much he has missed at the ripe age of 76. You know what I mean? And you just think about so much that he has missed, and we want our dads to be around. So
we want our brothers and sisters, our mothers and fathers, we want our partners to be around. So like I said, this scourge of cancer, the only tool that we got in our toolbox right now is to get screened, early detection. That's right now the only tool we got. So we got to use it.
Great. Well, thank you so much. And like I said, I'm going to get the word out. All right, man. Take care.
The David Lee Show is supported by the Community Foundation for Greater New Haven, working toward a community of expanding opportunities in which all people share a sense of common destiny and have the support and connections needed to build successful lives. And by its New Haven Healthy Start program, creating healthy mothers, happy babies, and hopeful futures. For more information, you can reach out to the program director, Natasha Ray at nray@cfgnh.org, or you can call Natasha at 203-777-7087.